we go. So I guess I'm gonna just talk through this because I'm saving this for somebody who is also going to be making dice. So, hey, I have this up so I can see chats and stuff, so welcome to my very messy station. So I have some really hot, well, like as hot as would come out of the tap water, and I'm just gonna let my resin hang in it. I can see you asking questions. But yeah, if you have questions, ask them. That's fine. So I let the resin hang out in there because it makes it thinner. More, I'm not going to do the hardener. It doesn't need it. It makes it easier to mix and not get bubbles in. And for these dice, I'm going to cut up this bag that I got from Bath and Body Works because it's really pretty and iridescent-y. And I'm going to put it in the dice. Sorry for the auditory nightmare that this is. Okay. And just a second. Okay. All right. Whoops. So I just want to cut like, I don't know, 7. Six, and 7. And then I'm gonna crumple it up into bowls. And these will just go. Sorry, I don't know where my camera is. There. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's like beauty YouTuber. So you just crinkle it up into bowls. I could put links. First I used Art and Glow resin. It lasts me forever. The molds I made myself using Sorta Clear 12 and some dice that I made from Sophie and Toffee molds. This is really blurry. How do I make it not blurry? The beauty YouTubers didn't tell me that. Okay. So right now you get to just sort of hang out while I crinkle paper. And yeah, I got this stuff from Bath and Body Works. They also make some like you can get from Amazon some I think it's like nail foils or something like that, or Mylar flakes. But I don't know. I saw this and was like, I want it, and I was getting a candle anyway. Yeah. Okay, so now that that's all done and that resin is probably warm enough, let me just make sure I don't need anything else. The other things I'm going to be using is this Let's Resin dye, and some like not holographic, like chromatic. Wow, the lighting in here is bad. Nail powder. I use that, and it makes it sparkly. So, all right. So first you put in the hardener or the resin. Order doesn't matter. I just had this one out. And then pluck the resin from the water and try not to get the water on the molds or in anything that you're going to be using. Pour that thick. And you want to try to get everything that you can out to make the ratios as equal as they can be. And now we stir for like a while. So I'm going to get a cup ready. I'm going to put all my little, like, balls in there for a reason that I will get to later. So once the resin is sort of like with the hardener, you have about 40 minutes before everything starts curing. If you heat it up, it may be slightly less, but about 40 minutes. If I didn't have a pressure pot, I probably would have let the resin sit in the warm water bath for a little longer to help reduce bubbles. And then, again, this is from Amazon. It's just a silicone mixing cup, so I don't have to keep rebuying plastic cups over and over and over. And you want to mix it, make sure it's mixed up real good. I know you're just sort of seeing my hand like do a thing, but I suspect you've seen someone mix stuff before. There's hella bubbles in it. That's just kind of how it be. Ooh, shit, I forgot to get a different lighter. Okay, so once it's like clear enough, I can see to the bottom. I'm pretty confident it's well mixed. Is the actual fun part where you get to like color it and stuff. Wow, seeing my hands like on a delay just because I'm popping up to see if there are any more questions. So a little bit of this goes a long way, so I'm just going to drop in like 2. And make sure it's the color I want it. I'm sorry. Okay. That's still very, very light, so I'll probably drop in some more. But I want to make sure it's well mixed first before I make my decision. Yeah, that's way too light. Drop in about 2 more. That'll darken it up, but I still want it to be transparent, so... But it's like the color of, you know, like if I were to call that grape something, it's like that color, right? But still more because I just really love purple and I just really want some purple. There we go. Okay. So now that it's like the purple that I want, as far as you can see, I'm going to add some glitter. I like the nail powders because any other kind of glitter, even if it's like the super fine glitter, always tends to just sink to the bottom. And I don't love that. You don't need that much, just a little bit, unless you have the too much gene, like me and Miss Jenna Marbles. And then you put in a lot. And you feel really good about it. I'm just sort of checking it with the light here. It's really kind of hard to see from where I am. Oh, hell yeah. Let me see if I can move this to show. It's very pretty. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's very bubbly right now, too, but... Okay. We've got a very precarious situation with the camera here. So bear with me. We good? We good? Everybody gets to see my white shirt that I'm wearing? Okay, great. Alright. So that's pretty well mixed. I feel like it could still use a little more glitter, though. Like, it just wasn't... Yes. Brooklyn. All this mixing is going to incorporate hella bubbles, so, you know, if you're not using a pressure pot, be careful, I guess. So, find out the best way. I'm going to pour some of this over the little balls that I made. It helps reduce the bubbles a little bit that can be created. And now we use our pipettes. And we wait while I find a lighter, because I'm going to need one. So, be right back. Enjoy watching the resin. And the pipettes move slow. This is kind of why I prefer to use usually a like a syringe, but I think a lot of people just buy the pipettes. They're cheap and plentiful. Alright, well, that's about as full as it's going to be right now. So, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to fill each mold about halfway. Oops. And the pipettes are going to take 5,000 years to fill. Maybe if I move the way up a little, that'll help. There. And then you laugh every time it makes a little farty noise because, hey, it made a farty noise. I wonder if that'll show you a better... Nope, that's still just real. Okay, well, I tried. Let it be known that I tried. Okay. A little bit here. Alright. And now I get to put the resin bowls. No, they're not resin. They're cellophane? Yeah. So I'm just going to like try to mix it up, make sure that it's as coated as I can get it in resin. This is really good for anything that you're going to use. Like I've done moss before, and this was a good way to kind of prevent some bubbles. So I'm going to pull it out with some tweezers that obviously I don't use on my face or care about all that much. And then I'm going to give up and use my fingers because that's just how it be today. It's just a day. And you just kind of cram that in there. I'm going to use the real big ones for the like D6. It's a good one for that. Oh, good lord. Okay. So you may want to cut them a little smaller than I did. Oop, it froze. Shoot. Of course it froze and my hands are all resiny. Alright, let me try to... I don't know how to fix this. All I'm doing is getting resin on everything. Okay. Hang on. Shit. I'm gonna have to edit that, so I'm gonna have to put on a new glove because I had to take the other one off to do anything. It's fine. I'll edit those to be one or something. Also, I have the silicone mat, which is awesome because I can just put resiny stuff right on it and it's not an issue. Okay, it's gonna be hella bubbly. I'm gonna do the D4 last because I feel like it's gonna give me the most trouble. Just kidding, I'm going to put this one in the D4. Boy, I'm really feeling these boys. So, learn from my mistakes and go much smaller than you need. Because now I'm getting resin just on all the things. Okay, so after I fill them, do that, I'm going to actually change my gloves again. Because I don't want resin on everything. Gloves are cheap, it's fine. I'm so eco-conscious by having, you know, silicone mixing cups and constantly using plastic gloves. Okay, so first, before I do that, I'm going to just kind of like burp them a little bit in case there's any bubbles trapped under anything. Oh, honey, no, that's not going to work at all. I'm going to have to make that smaller. Or I'm going to cut a smaller one of these. We're going to pretend this never happened. Don't tell. And then, you know, just kind of like hope. We hope. There we go. The rest I can kind of cram in easily enough. So now I'm going to take the rest and top these off, and I'm going to overfill a little bit because resin tends to shrink. I'm also going to try to go in and make sure I can get some of the corners. Yeah, you can tell there were some big old bubbles on that one. Or at least I can. I can see perfectly. I don't know about you guys. Okay. A nice thing about these molds versus the molds that come pre-made for like Sophie and Toffee or whatever is that I cut a little notch into them so I know which way the lid goes on, so I don't have to worry about keeping this top area super duper clean. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah. Yeah. And also, it's clear. It's a clear mold, so you can kind of, in person, you can see in there really well. You can also see if there are any really trouble spots for bubbles or anything like that, which I like. And it's really good for doing stuff like this, like inclusions. Oh boy, I'm just kind of exploded. These might not be my best work. Like, the idea is really pretty, and I love it, but I suspect I'm going to end up with hella bubbles. So if you don't put any inclusions in, this will probably be fine. So once I got those mostly full, I go over the lids of each one. So the molds that I make, the lids have the number on it, so that a complete dice comes out that just needs some cleanup. So I put a little bit of resin over the numbers because that's where a lot of bubbles can get trapped. Yeah. Especially, I found like the D10s and percentiles are the trickiest to work with. And then I'm going to change gloves here because I have to grab my lighter. I don't normally change gloves this much. I just have to, I'm a mess today, y'all, is the problem. Hello? Can you stop being... Oh my goodness. Okay, well it helps if you put each finger in... Yeah. There we go. Alright. So I think you can even see from up there. I think I can see from up there. There are bubbles in this. So here's what we do to get rid of the bubbles. Take a lighter. I just run it over and they pop. And there's also, you can see there's some spots where the cellophane is kind of sticking out. I don't want that to be an issue, so now that all of the resin is in, I'm just going to kind of go over and push it into the resin, see if I can get it to fold over anymore. Be really cool. I think if all else fails, when I put the lid on, it'll be not an issue, but where is the... There we go. Also, when I kind of push the cellophane in, I can see, you know, some more bubbles rising, so it's good to do that too. There we go. Yes. Yes, push it real good. So, oh, you son of a biscuit. Okay. Get in there. And then as new bubbles rise, you pop those. Pop. Okay, this cellophane piece is being a real pain in the butt. If you have to get resin on any of your tools, isopropyl alcohol, clean it right off. This piece just did not want to go down there. Okay, try this again. Okay, there we go. Everything's where it needs to be. And you just kind of like, for best results, babysit it for a little while before putting the lid on. I give mine a couple squeezes. Again, I think I already mentioned I call it burping it, just because like blurp, bubbles come out. And then I like to check kind of on the points of them to make sure the resin is getting everywhere. And it looks like in the D4, just on the very tip, it's not. So I'm just going to kind of go in and make sure that, yeah, there was a bubble in the tip. So I'm just going to kind of work it out, work it up. Because the pressure pot does not actually completely get rid of bubbles. What it does is it makes them so small that you don't see them. But that's well and good for the outside, or the inside of the dice, but not the outside so much. I think, for the most part, everything is where it should be. Yeah, that looks so cool. I wish I could show you better. That's the D20. You can sort of see it in there. But just want to make sure. Yep, there's a big old bubble right there. What is this word I'm trying to say? Get out. Okay. And then before I put the lids on, I'll top it off again. Ooh, I see a big bubble in this D20. Get out of there, you. Usually, I don't have to worry about bubbles nearly as much. Well, shoot. What did I put safety on or something? Well, I appear to have stopped knowing how to use a lighter. Unfortunate. Am I going to have to use matches? Or what? There we go. Again, one more shot with this. Get rid of any big bubbles. Don't set your cellophane on fire. Do it very quickly. And now we put the lids on. So I just line up the little notches where I made them. And there will be some spillover because these are not, well, not a ton of spillover, actually. So I'll put the lid on and then make sure everything's looking good. There's no huge voids on the lid. Looks like on this D20 there might be one, so I'm probably going to come back to it and fix it. And this one is just a matter of if the cellophane is going to stay where I put it. Yeah, the D6 is going to need some love too. It's okay. We got plenty of time, right? That one looks good. We'll see how these turn out. I'm curious to see. I think I kind of was overly ambitious with this material I used. But that's okay. Another kind of cool thing about the lid molds is, so I do know sometimes they want to kind of like pop up, so I'll just like flip them over, and that keeps the lid down. Oh, I'm sorry, it got really blurry again. There we go. So I know, for instance, these are trying to, ooh, is that a big old bubble in the D10? Of course it is. I hate the D10. I hate it. And then this whole space is going to look like just the worst mess until all the resin cures and I can just peel it up because it's on a silicone mat. Okay. This one's fine as long as I flip it. Okay. What were the ones that I said needed help? It was a D6. D12, you're looking good, buddy. I think you're doing okay. I think, yeah, you're fine. D8, how you doing? I do one final pass, kind of check on, ooh, that's a big bubble. Okay. Yeah, the D10 needs some help. D6, actually, looking pretty good. That looks so sick, dude. Okay. God, I hope these turn out because they will be so cool if they do. Did I say the D? Yeah. And then you just check dice for infinity because you keep forgetting which one you already checked. D20. Do I want to risk it? I think it's fine. I think it's okay. No, it's not. Damn it. Okay. So these three need some topping off. Another thing about these kinds of molds too is that they're super easy to clean. Actually, you just take some like packing tape and like basically like lint roller it with packing tape. Now I can tell I'm reaching the end of my pot life because this is not wanting to disperse as smoothly. My gloves are a mess. And once these are all good to go and tops are on, I'm going to end the stream because I have to put them into the pressure pot. And I have to turn the air compressor on for that. And I'm not going to do that to you. Okay, so this just has like a little bubble. I'm not going to do the whole lighter thing because at this point my hands are just covered. Okay. Where was the hole that I saw before? Where were you? I'm really glad y'all cannot see my face doing this because, whew. Yeah, you had hella bubbles right there. I see you. I see you. The resin being as thick as it is right now, this would probably be a very good stage for adding any sort of inclusion or anything like that. Anything like that you want to float or be dispersed. This would be a good time for that because it's just thick enough that I think it could support the weight. There's still kind of a big old bubble there. Hey, thanks! Okay. Well, that's as good as it's gonna get. Aaron's home. Okay, well, these have to go in the pressure pot now, so I'm going to turn this off, otherwise y'all have to listen to my air compressor, which would suck. So, thanks for watching and hanging out. Bye!